Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're completely flipping the script on how we look at book production. I mean, let's be totally honest here for a second. Have you ever treated editing, formatting, or your cover design as just kind of this annoying, optional hurdle? Or maybe a frantic afterthought right before you smash that upload button? Well, we are going to reframe that entirely today. We're shifting from seeing these steps as chores to recognizing them for what they really are: absolutely foundational business investments. This right here is your professional blueprint for making sure your book actually commands the respect and, the sales it truly deserves. Okay, let's dive right into this. I want to ask you a really simple question. Are you posting a file or are you actually publishing a book? It sounds like semantics, right? But honestly, this is the critical mindset shift required for professional self-publishing. Think about it. Posting is just what we do on social media. But publishing is a deliberate, highly structured business decision. I want you to just let this statement sink in for a minute. A book's first impression is visual and structural. Even brilliant content suffers if the book looks or reads poorly. Wow, this directly dictates reader trust. You could have literally written the most brilliant, life-changing content on the planet, but if you skip the foundational production steps, you destroy your credibility before a single word is actually read. Just picture it. You open a book to an unbroken, giant block of tiny text with zero margins. Your subconscious instantly screams amateur, and boom, you just lost a sale. To make absolutely sure we hit that professional standard, here's our agenda for today. 1. The production mindset. 2. Editing, the non-negotiable step. 3. Formatting, interior matters. 4. Covers, your marketing frontline. And finally, number 5, the production readiness checklist. All right, let's get into section 1, the production mindset. It is officially time to stop thinking of yourself as just a writer and start empowering yourself as a publisher. Look at the contrast here. On the left, we've got posting. That's the amateur act of just uploading a file and crossing your fingers, hoping it sells. But on the right, that's publishing. This is where you treat your book like a physical product on an assembly line. We're talking repeatable systems, things like metadata optimization, distribution strategy, and long-term asset planning. Because systems create repeatability, and repeatability creates sustainability. This is your new baseline mindset for literally everything that follows. Moving right along to section 2, editing, which is the non-negotiable step. So editing is the very first pillar on our new assembly line, and it is where the actual structure of your book gets fortified. Now, this isn't just running a quick spell check and calling it a day. It requires 3 very distinct layers. Step 1 is developmental or structural editing. This is looking at the big picture: story flow, argument logic, pacing, overall clarity. Then step 2 is copy editing, which drills way down into the nitty-gritty of grammar, syntax, and style consistency. And finally, step 3 is proofreading. That's your meticulous, fine-tooth comb final review of the typeset text just to catch any of those stubborn, lingering typos. And here's why all that matters. Mistakes erode credibility faster than a poor cover. I really want to emphasize this point heavily. You could have the most gorgeous, eye-catching cover in the world, but if a reader spots a rogue typo on page 1, they're going to permanently lose trust in your brand. It's just human nature. Readers are incredibly unforgiving of bad grammar or a confusing structure. This is exactly why you absolutely must invest in professional editors to protect your work. So before we move off editing, let's lock in this checklist. You need to ask yourself a few questions. Has the manuscript been structurally reviewed? Is the copy editing actually completely done? Have you done a final proofread? And super importantly, did you stick to a consistent style guide? Like, do you know if you're using Canadian English or applying very specific comma rules throughout the whole text? Do not move to the next phase of production until you can honestly look at this list and say yes to all of it. Okay, section 3, formatting, because the interior really matters. Now, what's really interesting about this second production pillar is how it clearly pits amateur mistakes directly against industry standard best practices. Doing your own DIY formatting often leads to completely disastrous trim sizes or broken ebook links. It's a mess. But industry standards, they demand correct margins, gutters, and bleed for print on demand. And for digital formats, you need perfectly reflowable EPUBs and fully functional, clickable tables of contents. The absolute most crucial point here is that good formatting is basically invisible. A reader shouldn't even notice it's there. But the very second they hit a misaligned page, or maybe an unreadable font, or a totally broken ebook link, that silent illusion is shattered. They are immediately pulled out of the story, and it instantly costs you their confidence and honestly, probably their future business.
So here is your strict formatting baseline to prevent that from happening. Make sure your trim size matches your ISBN perfectly. Ensure all your print margins, headers, and footers are dead on correct. You've got to validate your EPUB files so they have a fully functional table of contents. And hey, if you're adding optional extras, things like interior illustrations, fancy drop caps, or custom chapter headers, just make sure every single one of those images is perfectly optimized and compressed before you even think about hitting publish.
Next up, Section 4, Covers, your marketing frontline. We have arrived at our third and final pillar. Your cover is essentially your silent salesperson. I need you to stop looking at it as just nice decoration. It is a high-powered conversion tool. Its entire job is to instantly signal value, genre, and credibility to a scrolling reader in literally a fraction of a second. Just think about it. If you use a whimsical, goofy font like Comic Sans for a gritty, dark thriller, you completely break the reader's trust before they even click. If your cover looks homemade, there's absolutely no way anyone is going to stick around to read your synopsis. Now, keep in mind that print and ebook covers actually have very different jobs to do. For print, you need exact physical dimensions, a precisely calculated spine width that's based on your specific page count, and high-resolution files at a minimum of 300 dpi. But for an ebook, that battle is fought on tiny little smartphone screens. So you need extreme thumbnail clarity and high-contrast colors to catch the eye of a reader who's just scrolling rapidly on their phone. Trying to DIY your cover almost always means failing these incredibly rigorous visual and technical industry standards. All right, let's check the boxes for this final pillar. You need a professional design, strict thumbnail readability, exact spine widths, and completely consistent series branding. Make sure you're exporting in the precise file types required by platforms like KDP or Ingram Spark. And if you're going the extra mile and investing in optional print extras like foil stamping or embossing, you have to ensure those specific export requirements are flawlessly met. You do not want an embarrassing, sales-killing mistake right at the finish line. And that brings us to Section 5, the Production Readiness Checklist. It is finally time to bring our 3 core pillars together. As you can see, these elements aren't just isolated tasks. They form a totally interconnected system. Editing ensures your content is high quality. Formatting ensures that content is actually readable. And the cover design signals the value of that content to the outside world. If you neglect even one of these areas, it drags down the entire product. They literally rely on each other to succeed. So here it is, your ultimate master checklist. This is your final quality control gate before releasing your book to the market. Is your editing and formatting 100% finalized across print, digital, and audio? Is your cover fully approved and correctly sized? Have you validated all your interior and exterior files and got your metadata fields locked in? And maybe the most important question of all, have you rigorously reviewed those physical and digital proof copies? Seriously, I need to remind you, proofing is absolutely not optional. Skipping the proofing phase is a classic, total amateur move. Both automated distribution systems and real human readers will heavily penalize you for it. It creates this long-term credibility damage that is just incredibly hard to reverse. Trust me, one glaring, silly error in production can haunt your book reviews forever. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final provocative question. Is your book truly ready for the market, or does it need to go back to the production line? Don't let simple impatience ruin months and months of your hard work. Apply these strict professional standards, respect the assembly line process, and step confidently into the world of highly profitable professional publishing.